Welcome to today's episode of the Career Growth Sessions podcast. I am your host, BJ Barango, and this episode was originally recorded as part of the Destiny Education Instagram live sessions with alumni of our partner American universities, where we interacted with them on their journey with their higher education and how they have been able to navigate their professional lives. Now, if you missed the session, well, we have it here for you. Now, the live session was led by Margaret Anegbeh, team lead at Destiny Education, along with a special guest, Oluwaseun Adefolarin, a national key account officer at Coca-Cola and a current DBA candidate at Trident University International. In this insightful discussion, Oluwaseun shares the importance of future-proofing your business, embracing innovation in times of uncertainty, staying ahead in today's dynamic business landscape, and how a career-focused degree can be a game changer for every professional.
Yes, welcome everyone to today's IG Live. My name is Margaret. I am the lead national student advisor for Destiny Education, and we'll be talking today about future-proofing your business, embracing innovation in times of uncertainty. And I'm excited to have Mr. Oluwaseun here with us today. He's a seasoned sales and trade marketing professional and senior channel and category development manager at Coca-Cola HBC. And yes, with a wealth of experience and an impressive academic background, including a DBA in progress with Trident University, an MBA from the prestigious University of Northampton, and a degree in economics from the University of Lagos. That is quite impressive. Such an impressive resume, if I may add. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you very much for giving us the ability to hear from you that is a seasoned professional. So you'd agree with me that in today's world, the world, like, it's constantly evolving, innovations keep moving. So for every business owner to thrive, they have to, keep up with the trends. So we have people here that have businesses, and the businesses doesn't necessarily have to be, trading. It could be your career. You need to just keep up with the innovation so that, you can be on top of your game. So those people are here now watching and would like to hear from you. So let's just dive into it. Okay? So I would ask the first question, which is, in your opinion, what are the core element businesses need to focus on to build a truly future-proof strategy? How can leaders take these elements and make them work within their organization?
Thank you very much for moderating this session. To your question on what are the critical elements, basically, or the core element of successfully future-proofing strategy for business, I would say it's not just about responding to what is in front of us. Future-proofing a business within the current climate, which is a very dynamic, very turbulent, like some would say, a VUCA element, which is volatile and uncertain, really challenging environment that we are in. It's about anticipating what's around the corner and preparing for it proactively. And from my point of view, I would say the elements would be three big things, which would be adaptability, customer centricity, and technology integration. And technology integration is really important in this 21st century that we are in. Every now and every 2 days, every 3 days, there's a new technology coming on board. There's a new tool that can improve the way we do things. And consequently, that is also influencing the options that consumers have, is influencing the options that customers have, because of technology, there are myriad of opportunities now to customers. So I would say leaders need to champion experimentation rather than fearing it. Leaders need to champion adaptability within their team. And just like I mentioned as one of the key elements, basically creating an environment where you can embrace change, where you can experiment rather than fear it. Because future-proofing, just like I said earlier, it's about anticipating what is to come, what you have not even seen, what is to come. And another element, I've talked about the adaptability, importance of keeping up in times with technology. The next would be customer centricity, which is about knowing your customer deeply, evolving with them. This is not negotiable. Businesses that are relevant today are those that anticipate their customers' needs, their evolving preferences, utilize whatever insights that they can get to ensure that they're staying ahead within the industries that they are positioning. So overall, it will be, I would say, leaders who understand all of these three big elements, which is technology integration, adaptability, the importance of knowing your customers deeply. I would say those are businesses that are poised for future proofing, that are poised to thrive in the future. Thank you.
Great. That is wonderful, to say the least. I was taking my notes actually while you were talking. So adaptability, technology integration, and customer centricity. That's really nice. So moving on to the next question. As an expert in sales and marketing, how do you stay on the cutting edge of trends while keeping your message clear and relatable to your audience?
Okay, so on this question, thank you very much for this question. I really like this question. Keeping up with trends and ensuring that it's basically not overwhelming, I would say the key is prioritization. There are always going to be so many things. There are always going to be so many needs, so many values, so many things, emerging trends. The key would be to prioritize. You need to choose trends that directly align with your customers' needs and your customers' value. So when a company jumps on every new trend, it can dilute the brand. So you would see that a lot of these multinational organizations or big companies, you would say, how come a new brand is like gaining so much share and they are not immediately, they have so much money, they have so much technology, so much expertise, the people, the right route to market strategy. Why is it that they are not immediately going for a kill? Sometimes they're taking a step back to ensure that they are not diluting their brand, they are not alienating their audience. Because very important, you don't want to alienate your audience in as much as you're trying to keep up to trend. So organizations need to select trends that would enhance their own customers' experience and make their own innovation feel natural, feel valuable. Ensure that it is relevant to people that are paying money for the brand. So whether it's an entrepreneur, whether it's a big organization, an SME, a small and medium scale organization, it's very important that whatever you're doing, or whatever innovation or trend that you're jumping on, it is really aligned to the customers that are paying, to your target audience. There are different targets or audience, there are different niche markets. You need to ensure that what you're doing is what benefits the niche or the target audience that is your business is catering to. Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you for that one. So what would you say are the biggest hurdles when it comes to launching innovation-driven strategies, especially in times of uncertainty? How do you recommend businesses to overcome them? That's actually two questions.
Okay. So let me try to, you asked what are the biggest hurdles, right?
Yeah.
And how do organizations basically overcome them?
Yes.
All right. Okay, good. So I've talked about the challenges would come from different things, right? It could be from the industry shift. It could be from what competition is doing. But at the end of the day, in every industry, there's always a competitor, right? It could be technological advancement. So all of those things I mentioned in the first question that you need to pay attention to. They could also be the detriment. They could also be the reason why you are not in line. Technology is growing faster. Look at BlackBerry today. There was some 10, 15 years ago, if we're not using a BlackBerry, you are not, you're inferior. Like at some point, it became, before it was just ordinary Samsung, like without a blue face. Then it was Nokia 3310. It falls down, you can pick it up. So basically, you see technology keeps evolving. Yeah. Now with the advent of AI, it's going to evolve even faster than it has in the last 20 years. So I would say industry shift, computers move, and technological advancement would be things, or would be some of the main things that shift trends, or that would be hurdles the organizations basically have to overcome. But how do we as individuals within this organization, how do we overcome this hurdles? I would say the first thing would be a continuous learning mindset. And I'm very glad that even at the beginning, you talked about it in your introduction. It's about being proactive with learning, continuous growing, basically a growth mindset, a continuous learning mindset. Because the knowledge you know today might be relevant for today, but it might not be relevant for tomorrow. What you knew 5 years ago, or the assumptions that you knew 5 years ago, would 100% not be relevant in today's markets, in today's dynamic and even turbulent in some cases market. So individuals, organizations, we need to be conscious of growing, learning. So as leaders, we would need to be voracious with the level of insights that we can lay our hands on. So whether industry reports, whether digital conferences like this kind of session that we are in, peer discussions where people can brainstorm, critique each other's ideas, and ultimately come up with what is the most relevant one. So basically creating a trend reader within organization where cross-functional teams regularly can be more exposed to what is happening within the industry, what competitors are doing, and keeping up in trends with technology. Overall, by having all of these continuous learning mindsets, looking at all the insights and tools available to you, organizations will be well poised for potential disruptions and innovations that might happen within their industries. Thank you.
That is beautiful. That is great. Really, we need to stay proactive and continuous learning. It never gets old. We need to keep up with the trend and do everything we can to overcome those hurdles. So the next question would be, where the trend shifts quickly, how can leaders stay proactive? I know you said something about, brainstorming. You've answered, you dig deep into the answer, and you already answered the next question I was going to ask, but still throw more light on that. How can leaders stay proactive? And also, what steps should they take, towards these new trends like day-to-day operations effectively? So what's steps?
Okay, so I'm glad you talked about it. So at the beginning of the, I think the first question, I talked about experimenting, being very comfortable with trying new things, because if you do not try new things, you don't know what can work, what would not work, because the industry keeps moving forward. It keeps evolving across, whether it's FMCG, whether it's in telecoms, whether it's in cinema, whatever is in quick service restaurant, in HoReCa channel, like across industries, you see that everything keeps evolving. Basically, consumer behaviors keep evolving. I would say one of the things companies would need to do would be starting small, and that is critical. And when I say starting small, regardless of how big you are, always start with a pilot project that allows you to test assumptions, refine your processes, gather some customer feedback without fully committing all your resources upfront. So one of the things in my current organization that we do is we pilot, so like within Nigeria, when we want to launch a new product, before some 2-3 years ago, we launched full scale, the total country. Now we pick it on a regional basis. Start with, okay, one region, let's see how it does that way. And that's what I think organizations should do. A pilot project that allows you to basically test your assumptions. See, is this working? Do I need to make... So you make your success or your failures, you can see it early on, and you now know how to scale up. It would be great for organizations not to scale up at the really early stage and committing a lot of resources. You might be lucky it works out fine, but you don't want to take that level of risk in terms of your manpower, in terms of your time, in terms of your finances. So the best way would be to have a phased approach where you can pilot, you can measure your results, you can refine, you can rejig, retweak it if need be, and consequently scale up. And I would think this would be the way to achieve sustainable success, basically. So this implementation strategy would ensure that your potential disruptions are guided against. So, and you will still be able to innovate and have the entire business, your entire team, the entire company behind it. Does that answer your question?
Actually quite interesting. So it's test the waters first, see how it does, then you can tweak if need be, and keep going. That's actually a very good strategy, whether it's a big business or a small one. That's what we're going to do that. Thank you so much. So how do you personally go about identifying potential risk to a business's strategy? Can you walk us through an example of how you've managed risk because it impacted a company?
Okay, so I would say risk is as much about foresight as in the business today. The foresight, yes, is one part of it, being strategic, anticipating your risk and all of that, but it's also about planning, because it starts with understanding what your strengths are as a business, basically where you're excelling, and also what are the external threats. And organizations or people, even within organizations, can do this using a SWOT analysis, where you look at your strengths, your weakness, your opportunities, and your threats. Risk is about doing all of this, knowing where you excel, knowing your weaknesses would be probably where your competition is strong. You might not be able to fight on your weaknesses, but from that weakness and from the strengths that you have, you would say, okay, what opportunities can I leverage on? And the threat will be looking at the external threats, maybe from the government, within the industry, what exchange rate is looking at. And you do a lot of scenario planning. Scenario A, if exchange rate is at this price, I'm using exchange rate because it's Nigeria, but it's just one of them. If exchange rate is at 1,750 to a dollar, how much do I need to price at? What will be the impact on my volumes? Let's assume it's somebody who is importing, maybe an entrepreneur who is importing from China. They need to, that you cannot keep taking price increases in a very ridiculous way. So you need to plan scenarios. How much do I need to buy? That would last me for maybe 2 months or 3 months, whereby I can plan on the next exchange rate. So basically it's about scenario planning. This allows you to anticipate what if scenarios. What if this goes wrong? What if exchange rate goes? What if fuel goes up? What if this? What if that? And in some cases, you're lucky. The worst case scenario that you have thought about ends up not even being so bad. But when you understand your strengths, when you understand your threats, also so your internal strength and your external threats, and you can plan scenarios, and you're able to anticipate your what if cases. What if this happens? You have your strategies better. So I think another example beyond the one I gave about maybe somebody importing from China could be supply chain disruptions. Companies are going into December. There's going to be a lot of demand, because Christmas period across the world, not just in Nigeria, across the world, there's going to be more demand in December or November, Black Friday period happening any moment from now. People have been giving their money to buy Black Friday. Same thing with December. So organizations would have supply chain disruptions. But if they had planned and anticipated that within this period, we would sell a little bit more, they can diversify maybe their suppliers, they can build local partnership maybe with logistic companies, maybe they can leverage the digital platforms like the logistics of like your Jumia, your Glovo, just to optimize their supply chain. So by setting up risk thresholds, basically aligned to measure the disruptions that would happen and pre-planning your responses at different levels. If this should happen, if sales drops by 10% due to supply chain or due to a campaign, a marketing campaign not working, or due to the fact that competition is being aggressive on pricing, what do we need to do as an organization? So you anticipate all of these scenarios, basically understanding what your operational levers are and having a mitigation plan where necessary. And I think this helps you position effectively for managing risk.
You know what? It looks like I'm going to take, like, apart from this live video, now I'm going to take like some class with you, because you're hitting the nail right on the head. And typical SWOT analysis, which, by the way, most companies do not do these days. They just think about the opportunity. They're not thinking, what are the threats that might come about? What are our weaknesses? How do we cover this? All the whole proper planning. These are great insights. I tell you, thank you so much for that. Yeah, so moving on. So pursuing a DBA is no small feat.
Correct.
How has it influenced your approach to strategy, especially when dealing with unpredictable market change? You already told us most of the unpredictable market change. So, just explain, just show more light.
Okay, so I'm glad you talked about the DBA. So maybe we explain, mention what DBA is.
Yes.
Everybody knows what a DBA. Yeah, so a DBA is a job.
Yes, administration. That's adding that.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's on the same level as a PhD. So it's a doctorate degree higher than a master's, just for more clarity. And I would say doing my DBA, and with the help of Destiny Edo in Trident University in the US, has been a game changer in how I approach my business strategy. By diving deep into research, I've developed, because DBA requires a lot of research, or any doctorate degree requires a lot of research. You have to deep dive into a lot of plethora of resources, articles, industry journals, so a lot. So by deep diving into this research, I've developed like a structured way of like analyzing market disruptions. So just like I mentioned in my previous example about market disruptions would happen, like you being able to identify your best strategic response, like having your scenario planning. This could happen, that could happen. If this happens, what do I do? If A happens, do I do B? If C happens, do I do D? I think my DBA has really helped me in shaping or strengthening my strategic acumen in how I analyze potential market disruptions. So within my organization, I'm able to, and based on what I'm very interested in doing in my doctorate degree on what I want to, my research project is basically about aligning internal resources with external conditions. So I'm able to see what are even these external conditions, what are the strengths that we have, how can we optimize the strengths that we have to take advantage of the opportunities within the marketplace to consequently have or create sustainable competitive advantage for the organization that I work for, or maybe even future organizations that I work for. Like that tool is very relevant. I'm able to see things or analyze at a really detailed level beyond what I probably would have been, or what I was doing at a master's level when I just had an MBA, or when I just had a master's degree in business administration. So it has pushed me to move beyond just gut decision making and instead build strategies that are embedded in data and also in theory. So theory, looking at the best practices, because the DBA is in a United States school, so there's a lot of global best practices your classmates are all around, are from all over the world. So their experiences, your experience from Nigeria, their experience from maybe UK, US, kind of wherever around the world gives you insight. So it strengthens your conviction. It gives you a rigorous process that sharpens your ability to view challenges from multifaceted angles, where you can see a problem, analyze it from this angle, from that angle. Is this going to be the best course of action? This be the most resilient solution? So this experience overall has enhanced my adaptability, my capacity to develop strategies that help me as an individual within the role that I'm in, pivot my responses to market shift. Thank you.
And would you say it's worth it?
Oh no, it's worth it. It's worth it. Definitely, it's worth it. So I would say it's a time commitment. So let me be very balanced. Like I'm being very, not just saying, it's a positive, it's a positive. It requires a lot of commitment on your part. Because not just a degree, it's a journey that deepens your analytical abilities, expands your strategic toolkits. So, but at the end of the day, it's a transformative experience. The level of insight, knowledge, skill sets that you're developing is at a much higher level, definitely. So you develop a more nuanced perspective on business challenges, multifaceted angles, from high level, even operational level, from strategic to operations. So, but it requires commitment, it requires resilience, balancing it with work and personal life. Sometimes could be demanding. However, the long-term benefits are immense. They're innumerable. It doesn't just add letters like, DBI, now I'm not a doctor. Okay, they're going to call me Dr. Oluwaseun Adefolarin. It's not just about the doctor or the DBI at the back of your name or the doctor in front of your name. It's not just about that. It's about how they equips you to make more significant, more evidence-based contributions within the field, whatever field you are in. Healthcare, finance, FMCG, marketing, branding, telecoms, aviation, whatever industry that you are in, you are able to make evidence-based contributions within your field. And so if you are basically ready to push yourself and invest in being a strategic leader, it's absolutely worth the commitment. Absolutely. It's a fantastic program.
What would you say to a business leader that is considering a doctoral program in business administration? Any tips on what to expect and how to maximize it?
So I would say a DBA program is a great idea. Can I also mention in the context of Trident and Destiny Edu? Okay, great. So a DBA, yeah, fantastic. So a DBA is obviously a great idea. I've said that multiple times on this call, because of the transformative experience, helping you expand your strategic toolkit, your strategic acumen, how you look at issues from a multifaceted perspective. I mentioned all of this, right? And I also talked about it requiring commitment and resilience. So where does Destiny Edu help beyond the grants? Maybe you would probably talk about that, but beyond even the grants, beyond the initial help at the beginning, there's constant follow-up. There's still constant follow-up. Someone checking. There are groups where you have similar-minded people, where we have other doctorate students, where you connect any part of the journey that you are on. There's somebody else who is also in that journey or who has passed through that journey and can share some insights, some tips on how they navigated it when it was their part. Initially, it could look a little bit tough because it's a 3-year commitment, right? It's a 3-year degree, 12 courses. Maybe if you have exemptions like I did, it will be 10 courses, but which will still be about 2.5 years, right? If you did maybe an MBA. But regardless of the commitment or the time commitment, you need to look at it that how would you be as a professional 3 years from now or at the end of the program? People say this, that's usually for like older people who want to go to school, right? And say, come on, I will have to do a 4-year program, or I'll have to. You'll still be your same age. You'll still be your age 4 years from now, whether you do the program, whether you don't do the program. So why not just do the program, maximize the program, and come out being a better version of yourself, come out being a more strategic leader, come out being more positioned to having nuanced perspective on business challenges from the high level to the operational level, from the strategic to executional level. I think this would be the benefits that DBA would offer, and anyone or any business leader contemplating it, I think it's a really great idea to go. Of course, with the support of Destiny Edu, they've been very valuable in my journey. I started mine April last year, so this is November. So I've done almost 2 years, right, in my journey, like almost, and since I'm 2.5 years. So I've done almost 2 years. I've done about one and a half years at least on the journey, and the support has been very valuable. If there's any concern, any help that is needed, I'm able to reach out to my advisor, my admission advisor, and say, oh, I need this clarity, or I need this help, or I need this, or do I just impute. Sometimes getting somebody that you can, so you're not just in it alone. A lot of times in our schools, like in our undergraduate days, you're doing everything alone. Okay, if you have classmates, fine. But at the end of the day, this is a program where you have support all around, beyond even the school's faculty, which are incredible, which are remarkable. It's also getting support from Nigeria, from the Destiny Edu team. So it's multifaceted, getting experience, help and support from the school's faculty in the US, and also getting local support from our team or from the Destiny Edu team here in Nigeria. I think it's really remarkable. I think it's remarkable. So thank you.
Great, fantastic. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you.
That word.
I love that.
Dr. Adefolarin, for letting us tap into your wealth of knowledge. It was really, really, really educative. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, I would go back and rewatch this video again. I took some pointers, go through it again. And if you're a business person out there looking to, grow your career, you need to come back and actually watch this. Thank me later when you do that. So anyway, we've come to the end of today's live. But before we go, Destiny Education, we are a student advisory company with offices in the US and in Nigeria. And we're dedicated to connecting students with exceptional educational opportunities, and we are the authorized partners with American Intercontinental University and Trident University International. Both of them are under the American Intercontinental University system. Yes, and with our 90% tuition grant offering, you get the opportunity to take advantage of offer and go for either a bachelor and associate program, which is what we call the diplomas here in Nigeria, but you call them associate. So you take advantage to do your associate program, your bachelor's, master's, or doctorate program even. And if you want to talk to, we have capable advisors who are ever ready to take your calls, advise you on what to do, what your steps. You can always reach out to us. There'll be a link in the bio on the We Are Destiny Instagram page, so you can go on there and have a chat with any advisor that you meet, or you can go to our website, which is destinyeducation.com.ng, and you can fill out the form and an advisor will reach out to you. It's that easy. And we can talk about, your next steps towards achieving your desired goals, or your destiny, or fulfilling your destiny, and, being ahead in these times of uncertainty, because the world is evolving, like Dr. Seun already said, is evolving, and you need to keep up with the trends. Okay, so we're on here. We're available to answer any questions that you have, any inquiries. Reach out to us. Thank you so much for sharing once again. Thank you, everyone. If you're just joining us, that's fine, not to worry. You can always come back and watch the replay.
That wraps up today's episode on future-proofing your business, embracing innovation in times of uncertainty. A big thank you to our host, Margaret Anegbeh, and our special guest, Oluwaseun Adefolarin, for sharing their expertise. Now, if you found this episode valuable, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your network. And if you're looking to advance your career with a DBA from Trident University International, Destiny Education is here to guide you every step of the way. Now, check out the links in the episode description for more information. Until next time, keep innovating and stay ahead of the curve.